Welcome to the F1 2025 British Grand Prix reaction. We're back with the intro of mine, as I'm finally back with the setup. Thanks a lot to our co-host Ajax. Hello.
Hello.
For obviously managing to handle the situation pretty well. He pretty much got the past 5 videos recorded by him. So huge thanks to that. Huge thanks for that to him. And we can move on to the British Grand Prix, which was, I think this was the race of the season, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. It just maybe not the race of the season, but also the thing about Silverstone is it always has delivered, right?
Yeah.
There's never been a boring race there. Even its boring races are phenomenal in the season in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was wonderful to watch, and even if it doesn't go down as I agree with you. I think it probably is the best race of the season. But even if people don't, think that, it was still absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Pretty much delivering every single year, and yeah, Silverstone is kind of starting to grow on me. I know that sounds weird, but I was never much of a fan of the track itself. Like I found it relatively boring to drive on the F1 games, and generally I didn't feel that attached to the circuit. But now I'm starting to really enjoy the British Grand Prix. Yeah, this was one of the, in my opinion, the best race of the season and one of the better British Grand Prix we've had. So we're excited for the video. Anyways, I guess we can move straight into the predictions, and we'll talk about the big talking points. Obviously during the thing. Obviously we have some big talking points that happened after the British Grand Prix, so we'll cover that as well, and can go straight to biggest surprise. British 1, 2, 3 in quali. Yeah, we had only one Brit in the top three. It was Lando in P3, I believe. We've had a surprise pole position with Max Verstappen. Do you want to comment on it?
It was a shock. It was a shock. Everyone seemed to just not be able to put down a good time at the end there. Saturday was all sunny. We expected maybe to get a bit of rain. It didn't come. And yeah, it was hot. But yeah, no one managed to put. The Ferraris looked like they were superior through the practice sessions. They looked like they'd given McLaren a go. Then George Russell looked particularly quick. Despite me saying it was hot, it was actually kind of cool. So the Mercedes was in its element, and of course it's Silverstone, and George Russell qualified here first last season, so it wouldn't have been a shock. And then no one managed to get that last section done well, and suddenly Max Verstappen's on pole, and it was a really, really tight top of the grid for everyone, and a bit of a shock to the system. Although it shouldn't be, let's be honest, it's Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I mean, no shock that it's Max, just a shock that it's generally another driver other than McLaren. Even though Ferrari were looking very quick throughout the weekend, in the end fell short and finished P5, P6 in quali, which was very disappointing considering their pace that they've shown. Yeah, better closing quali. I would say pretty much everyone in that top six except Max and George didn't set a good lap, or maybe not that they haven't set a good lap. They just made mistakes during them, and that's what cost mainly the Ferraris and McLaren's pole position, because Max delivered. He delivered the best lap he could at that moment, and it was enough for pole on Saturday. Sunday was a different story, but we'll get to that. Okay, my biggest surprise: Sauber no points. Actually, they scored quite quite a few points. So, I mean, yeah, biggest surprise, Sabrino points is starting to get really good because they've scored a lot of points, more than a certain Red Bull team in the past for races.
We'll get to it later, but
Yeah.
you could have, the other, if the other Sauber had suddenly retired, you could have ended up getting that, but you got one much better, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Okay, we can move over to the Oberperformer. I feel like this Grand Prix was a tale of like two ends. We had like half of the grid really, really well, doing really well, and the other making mistakes and generally not doing that well. But I Overperformer as like from our perspective of a singular driver. I think this goes to a certain Nico Hulkenberg. Not biased at all. This what happened on Sunday was so unexpected to me because like over the years I've seen Hulkenberg in the podium positions or near it. I always thought like something's gonna happen, and I was like throughout the last 20 laps or so, I was like, yes, this is not gonna happen. Like Lewis gonna catch him, and I basically haven't realized what was going to happen up until like the second last lap. Like, there was a really big gap between P3 and P4, and yeah, it's yeah. I was really happy at that moment. Yeah, I was over the moon. Honestly, it was an incredible feeling. I'm still happy up to this point. If it's 4 days later, I'm still feeling the excitement. Obviously, we'll talk about it. I think a little bit more throughout this video, but yeah, I just wanted to cover that point because it's
of course, he's your favorite driver. I think you should be the one.
Yeah, it's probably the main talking point of this entire video, right?
Yes,
like Hulkenberg first podium in a Formula One history, Formula One history, no, his Formula One career, his 239th race. That's a crazy number. I mean, definitely a record, like the most races without a podium consecutively in a driver's career. But finally, it's not the record for most races. Well, most races without a podium in the entire career, as that now belongs to Adrian Sutil, or I believe, or someone else. I'm not sure. Anyways, Hulkenberg is not the holder of that record anymore, and we're happy with that.
Who is it? I swear it's someone that I was like, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, you can continue.
Yeah, I was about to continue, but then my cat jumped on my lap. She's currently doing her best to interrupt me. Okay, I was like, okay. I think there's a lot of drivers who you could give this to, but since it's such a big moment, like this doesn't happen every day. It's like, wow, it's probably the moment of the season. Let's be honest. Like,
yeah, definitely. Like, it was spectacular. I mean, just everyone was happy, right?
Yeah.
You were right. It was subtle. Everyone was just very pleased for him. He deserves this. The fact he's done it in that car, of all things, after his studied career. And yes, he's never been at a top team, but this is probably the worst car he's been in, or at least at the start of the season. It was. It's incredible. It's incredible. And yeah, very very happy for him. I'm not as big a fan as you, but ever since he was, in the Renault, I've thought he was incredible. He's so professional with everything he does. Even all the post race stuff, he was very professional, very laid back. He is just a wonderful, amazing driver who deserves to get on the podium. in some point in his career, and I'm so glad it's happened because he's deserved it about 30 times before this.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way he handled the podium, it was like he didn't know what was happening. He didn't know the procedures and so on. Where he was supposed to go and so on. Like it was so. It was surreal to watch the entire thing. Like that Sunday was very memorable for me and will be for a long time. I don't expect the podium to repeat anytime soon. I think this was a one-off because Sauber is not not that good of a car, honestly. But yeah, a P19 to P3, a drive of the season, and I'm very happy it was my driver getting the podium for the first time. Finally, it was long overdue, and I'm just so happy. You couldn't have gotten the smile on my face the entire Sunday, basically. After that, it was incredible. Yeah, just want to quickly go over to our picks. Behrman, he had a very solid quali, but that mistake in FP3 cost him the race. I feel like he was quick.
It's a big disappointment because I feel like he could have been up there. He was so quick in the race as well. So he got into 2 incidents in the race as well.
Yeah,
Neither of which are entirely his fault. I think the first crash is
the one with Ocon. Like I think that was entirely on.
No, I don't blame him at all. I cannot believe that Williams was just swerving. I know the Williams in front is trying. I think it was Sainz. He's trying to get his tire temperature up, but if you've seen it back, he's just absolutely on the straight, just acting like it's a safety car. And that's why I don't fully blame him there either. I know he obviously is the one that initiates the crash. But
it wasn't much of a crash, like a dancing session from the asses. Yeah, like they were so synchronized. It was funny.
What is Sainz doing? Like, I think I pray it's Sainz. I believe it's Sainz because
the other incident was with Tsunoda, right?
Yeah, the other incident was the 3x3.
Yeah,
which I don't think is anyone's fault really.
But yeah, the incident in the FP3, I mean, under red flag, going that quickly, spinning off, almost crashing like that. That was something you don't see every day. He got rightfully penalized for it because under red flags, you're supposed to be like super, super careful and so on. And just I have no idea what he did there, but yeah, mistakes happen and he will learn from them, I'm sure. He's shown great speed this weekend and probably would have scored points if it wasn't for that. So yeah, and Lewis, I mean, was quicker than Charles the entire weekend as well, but when it mattered, he wasn't good enough to beat the best driver on that day, unfortunately. Yeah, it wasn't meant to be for Lewis to keep his podium streak because someone else had to get there. It's a shame, but that happens, unfortunately, when there's such a good driver in P3, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and yeah, there are a couple of other picks, but I feel like
yeah, I'll mention quickly. Gasly's obviously in a tractor as well.
Yeah,
Stroll was up there.
Yeah, Stroll definitely.
Albon got 8th in what the Williams don't look good at anymore, and overtook Alonso on the last lap, which has proven many a times is very tricky to do. So but no one even touches Hulkenberg.
Yep. Okay, moving on to the underperformer, and I mean, Max, he got a pole position. I don't think that counts, even though he made the mistake in the race. Still didn't cost him anything, I feel like, apart from like 2 positions, maybe. Like,
I think he would have come third.
But still, like, he was struggling so much in the rain because of his setup, and
I agree.
Like, the mistake was part of the conditions, like. He wasn't quick anyway. McLarens were were very much quicker during the rainy part of the race. He was struggling a lot. I'm not saying he wouldn't have gotten the podium, but it would be very difficult for him to keep it, in my opinion. But yeah, I still like managed to get a P5 somehow after that entire thing. Like he was stuck behind Sainz for a lot of the race, and suddenly it appeared in P5. It was it was something, but yeah, generally uncharacteristic mistake from Max, and I'm sure he doesn't really care about it because his buddy is on the podium.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, he managed. His spin gave Hulk the position. Do you want to talk about the Piastri thing, or should we leave that for later?
I feel like we can talk about that when we get to McLaren's generally.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
But yeah, uncharacteristic spin, but obviously he was already in issues.
Yeah. Yuki, I mean, he had a very bad weekend, but he's had bad weekends like pretty much ever since he got into the Red Bull. It's hard to say.
He didn't have the worst weekend.
Yeah, I mean, out in Q1, like the second last in the race. I don't know. Like
I would put all the rookies under him, right?
Yeah, I mean, still the Red Bull wasn't that great. Even with Max could pull, I still feel like the car wasn't great, and I don't feel like he deserves the underperformer, even though he had a bad weekend. Just there are drivers, in my opinion, that had it worse, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. I wanna hear your pick for the underperformer as a driver.
Probably Colapinto.
Fair. Yeah, he didn't even start the race.
Yeah, I guess that's cruel. Literally, just all the rookies apart from Behrman. And even then, Behrman, we discussed it.
Yeah,
he's missed out. He could have definitely got points this weekend. He looked quick in the wet. But yeah, Colapinto, Antonelli had a difficult race. Probably not his fault, really. Both Lawson and Hajar. Lawson's probably not his fault, but you could if you're picking on him.
What actually happened to Lawson? Because I don't remember. Sorry.
That was the free white crash with Behrman, from memory.
Oh, I don't remember what happened to Liam. It just randomly DNF. I feel like I somehow missed that during the race. I'm sure. He DNF. Hajar obviously had that weird.
Yeah, that was
thing.
unfortunate.
Like, he couldn't see through the spray and rear-ended Antonelli and pretty much DNF like in the absolute corner of the racetrack. It was like just
Lawson was the crash. The crash that we talked about with Behrman earlier. He was in that, and that knocked him out of the race. Bortoletto, Sauber actually had the wrong strategy that they were trying to put Hulkenberg on. And put him on slicks when they shouldn't have. Isaac Hajar sort of. I don't actually remember what happened with Isaac.
Okay.
No, we were just talking about it. Sorry. Yeah. He had a poor race. It was an unfortunate crash though.
Yeah.
Like we've seen the camera angles. It was bad. Kimi Antonelli as well. But probably Charles Leclerc is up there.
Okay, you got to my pick finally.
There you
go. Charles is my pick for the underperformer. Honestly, I haven't seen him this like uncharacteristically worse than Lewis. Like ever since China Sprint,
he hates Silverstone, I'm sure.
Like every time they were together in track, Lewis was quicker, and qualifying he beat him. Even though Lewis made a huge mistake, Charles made like a 3 out of 1 straight throughout his lap. He was really harsh on himself, like on the radio afterwards. Like he was saying like he's so shit and so on. To his engineer, and then in the race, the strategy was really bad, but he didn't do anything. I think I haven't seen him the entire race do like anything, a single overtake, or like it was stuck behind cars, didn't do any progress. because the Ferrari strategy wasn't great, but Lewis managed to almost get a podium in the exact same race. So maybe difficult to judge, but still, I feel like this was one of Charles's weakest weekends this year, and definitely, at least in my memory, was the weakest driver. Like in terms of performance relative to expectations.
Yeah.
Okay. We can move on over to the perfect team. Haas, no. And Ferrari, no. So there's that. I feel like a team, it could go to either McLaren or Sauber, right?
I don't. Just based on the radio calls, I'm not going to give it Sauber because
Like,
they were trying to put Hulkenberg on the wrong strategy.
Okay.
He was the one
fair.
making the calls.
Fair. Even though they had such a historic result,
Yeah.
they were trying their best to not have it. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so yeah, I guess you got a point there. So I guess this goes to McLaren then, because maybe Alpine though, like they were having a fairly decent weekend. Like Gasly got to Q3, got a P6. Yeah, Colapinto was nowhere, but it was because it's Colapinto. Like,
Yeah,
that was on him. I feel like Alpine. Maybe.
Go ahead.
Maybe Alpine had finally a good weekend after a while, and yeah, that's the only team apart from McLaren that I can think of.
I would definitely say if you go back and watch when McLaren pit, every single time is the correct time to pit, and obviously they have the foresight of their miles at. Piastri was miles ahead. Norris had just got past. The safety car happened, and Norris had just got past a thing. That double pit stop though was very good, even if Norris did get stuck behind Verstappen again. But yeah, every time they went for a pit stop, it was the correct time to do so. So I am going to give it, like, especially at the end when the weather's when everyone goes onto the slicks too quickly.
Yeah.
Apart from them and Hulkenberg, so I have to give it them. Also, big shout out to I will give a shout out to Aston because they gave Stroll the strategy to win. He went on those softs very early on. He changed this. He literally started on inters, went to softs when it was dry, overtook everyone, went on to inters at the exact right time, alongside Hulkenberg. And honestly, it's just a shame he's not really a good enough driver in the dry.
Yeah,
because in the wet he looks very good, and I do think that he was given. Probably maybe wouldn't put him on the softs at the end. I think that did affect his eventual finishing position. But yeah,
I feel like the softs were the incorrect decision when it comes to the last stint. I feel like those drivers on the mediums did the best, and the hards also struggled because of the temperatures. So Aston, maybe mainly just what they did to Fernando's strategy. I don't feel like that would be a pick, but you get a point anyways. McLaren, I feel like we can both agree on McLaren. Okay, a tragic team, Red Bull Racing. They got the pole position still. Like they're a team we don't expect to win races, right? Like they're in the pack with Mercedes and Red Bull. Sorry, Mercedes and Ferrari. Like behind McLaren, they're expected to be in like P3 to P7 area. Mostly Max, at least, Tsunoda is struggling as usual. They didn't do any worse than maybe someone would expect. Honestly, P5 for Max is pretty much what you could expect right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Aston, similar
it's unfortunate,
situation.
but we do we want to talk about the thing, or do we talk about that later?
Wait, which thing?
The big news.
Oh yeah, I feel like we can get covered after we talk about the British Grand Prix. Obviously, it happened afterwards, so
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Fifth place Fair result.
Tragic team. Aston, no. I feel like Aston deserves this. They scored points. Like, both. Wait, did Alonso score points? I think so, right?
Alonso did, yes. They both did score points.
Double points, definitely not a tragic team. So, yeah.
Yeah, Alonso was 9th in the end. He got overtaken by Albon on the last lap.
Oh, unfortunate.
Like Stroll got overtaken by Gasly on the last lap. So both of them losing a position on the last lap. That's classic Aston.
Yeah. Okay. Your pick for the tragic team?
It probably has to be Red Bull Racing.
It's Red Bull for you.
Oh, sorry, Racing Bulls. Racing Bulls. That's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be probably my pick as well. Double DNF is pretty much the nail in the coffin. Whenever a team gets that, they're a guaranteed tragic team in our predictions. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really any other team that you could like be such a straightforward decision, because a lot of teams got points, and I mean, and those which didn't, like Haas, maybe did Haas get point P10? No. Well, not sure right now, but
Haas didn't get any.
Yeah, okay. Haas was in the contention for points, and what happened with Haas was the incident. So,
but that's a driver.
Yeah,
thing,
a driver thing, exactly. Like the team wasn't at fault for that. So, yeah.
And they at least gave Behrman the opportunity. Again, it was a lot on Behrman.
Yeah. Okay, so we can agree on Racing Bulls. Okay. Can move on over to the quality predictions, where I believe we got to Leclerc P5. No, it was Lewis, right?
Let me go and look.
Yeah.
For qualifying, it was Lewis in 5th, yes.
Okay, George Russell P4, I believe that's a point.
Yes, you got a point for that.
And P3 Lewis, that was Lando. P2 Oscar, so another point. And
yes.
Looking good. P1 Norris, it was Max, so no points there for us. Let us. Obviously, we weren't expecting Max to suddenly get there. Yeah, he proved that he can deliver in the most unexpected conditions and scenarios. So maybe I should start I think this was the first time I haven't put Max somewhere at the top in like 3 or 4 races. And it's the one against Paul. It's kind of unfortunate, but yeah. And generally, we were fairly close with the predictions to the reality. Like 2 predictions max, like off, right?
Yeah, exactly. We did well.
Okay. Can move on over to the race predictions with P5 being Max, so no points there. P4 Lewis, so you get a point for Lewis in P4.
Yes.
Pretty random pick, but yeah. P3 wasn't Russell, wasn't Hamilton. He was Nico Hulkenberg. So it sounds beautiful to say I got P3. So I'm happy to not get a point here. Even though it was looking very likely that Lewis would catch him before the end, but he didn't. And we got McLaren 1-2, so 2 points for us there. With Lando ahead of Piastri. I feel like this is the point where we can talk about McLaren. Well, the Piastri incident, right? Do you want to get your thoughts out first?
How do I? The thing is, right? I think overall my point is that I don't think Piastri's purposely trying to screw Max, right?
Yeah.
And the argument is Russell was probably purposely trying to screw Max. Something I said in that podcast is Max too often just gets alongside a driver and drives alongside them during a safety car.
Yeah.
And it might be so that they struggle to put up their tire temperatures, whatever it is. I don't agree with it. So yeah, it's a this one is different, right? Because in reality, um, Max isn't Max isn't alongside. He's quite far behind. It's at the exact point, pretty much, that Oscar starts to brake, that Max accelerates because he's a bit further behind. And I think that's what makes it so close in the end, so close to a crash, because it gets very, dicey. Um, I've gone. Sorry, I'm going around in loops that don't really make sense, aren't I?
No, you're completely, I think, straightforward with your thoughts so far.
Basically, I think Piastri really should have got a 5 second penalty. Again, I think the fact that there isn't one true group of stewards is a big issue because you get such weird penalties. Like I'm pretty sure Max only got. I might be wrong. He might have got 5 or 10. I think Max got like 10 seconds for purposely crashing into Russell, right
Yeah.
on the racetrack. Whereas this is not really comparable. It's not purposeful. I don't think he's even tried to put off Max. I don't think he's worried about Max. He certainly dealt with him the first time. I think if Max doesn't spin, I think it's probably still just 5 seconds. But I think the fact that Max spun afterwards gave it a 10, which is a completely separate incident. So I guess you could argue Max got like grass on his tires or something, or at least he was off on the wet line because of that. So yeah, that's my say so. I think it should have been 5, but yeah, I'll actually get to it in a sec. But you go ahead.
Okay. First off, it's the thing that I've hated pretty much ever since I started being a regular Formula One fan, and the thing I hated especially in 2019 Canada. I hate when a penalty decides the race winner. I really hate that when it happens, especially when it's such a minor thing. Like this is like it's very underwhelming. Like to see a driver leading the entire race, pretty much doing everything correctly, and suddenly lose a race win to his rival, who is just there to pick up the pieces. Like for such a thing, it's the thing is it's very unusual. Like we haven't seen this penalty before. And we have seen a similar incident with Russell, like you said, who was trying to do it on purpose. At least that's what we think. I also don't think Piastri was exactly thinking of letting Max through for him to get a penalty. That's just stupid. Like, I mean, it didn't work with Russell. Why would it work now? But the thing is, he braked exactly like Max accelerated. So did entire field behind him. Piastri saw the lights coming off on the safety car. He wanted to brake, really slow down the field, and then accelerate probably like into the right at the end of the at the end of the straight to basically use the high speed corner to get away, right? But instead, what happened was the unfortunate coincidence that Max was speeding up. He overtook. He had to avoid Piastri, kinda, but it caused the chain reaction with the cars behind, and like Hulkenberg has said, like it caused problems for cars behind and the entire field. Like they had to avoid cars. Hulkenberg himself went onto the grass, and that's where I realized that I was wrong thinking that Piastri shouldn't have gotten the penalty because, right, when watching the race, I was like angry almost. Like I was in disbelief. Like why did it get a penalty? But I didn't think about the consequences of that action. And I feel like this would be right. This was a deserved penalty in my opinion, but so should be the George Russell incident, right? I hate inconsistency, and when something new happens, well, it wasn't new, but the penalty was new. Like, we haven't seen this penalty before. I'm sure we had similar incidents, or maybe similar near incidents like this in the past, where the leader braked and it wasn't with this. It wasn't in sync with the entire field. Like we saw a very big, very big amount of crashes in the Mugello, I think 2020, right? We had for like we had so many cars going full speed into it onto the straight where Bottas haven't even restarted the race yet. There are like a lot of crashes, and this is my opinion. I feel like it would be nice to have consistency in FIA decision making, but like you said, we don't have the same stewards every single race, and they interpret the rules like in their own way, and yeah.
I think what I'll say is, as you said, this one I still think it should be 5 because again I don't think it's even purposeful. But
yeah,
I guess it happened twice. One, two, you know, it affected more of the field, right? The Russell one only seemed to affect Verstappen, and yeah. So you think it's 10 seconds?
No, this is the thing. Piastri, at least from his own words, did that exact same thing, or maybe similar thing, like the couple of laps before that, and that's what really isn't like. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't like inconsistency in this case. Like, if I shouldn't have given him a warning for the laps before, like, it doesn't matter that the safety car is ending, still under the safety car. And it's the same situation, but you're not giving him a single warning or anything just because it doesn't cause consequences. But in the moment it causes, well, consequences, like probably if I saw the other cars having to avoid other cars and so on, then they have applied the penalty. That's the problem. Like you have to give the penalties out for the incidents themselves, not the consequences, and that's the problem with me. I feel like that's my problem. I feel like it should have been either no penalty, like for George, or they should have been given a warning when he was doing it, or instead should have been no penalty or a warning after he did that, because there was no way of him knowing that it would cause such a problem. Like he was in disbelief in the afterwards, after the race. Like he was literally saying like he didn't agree with it, like he's not gonna speak further because he could get in trouble. Like he was noticeably angry, and he didn't understand what exactly caused the penalty. Then when Hulkenberg explained in the code room, it was a little bit more like understandable, but still, like it's the FI. It's the longest story in our in here. Like FI's inconsistencies and decision making, it doesn't improve, right? I feel like pretty much ever since like 2020, it's just bad, getting worse, and even though it hasn't peaked as badly as in 2021, I feel like FI still needs a huge rework, and just generally someone needs to get there and put things right, because I feel like this is not just me, not just you. I feel like a lot of people have problems with it, and sometimes it favors their drivers, sometimes it doesn't. I'm mostly trying to stay objective. I'm a big fan of Piastri. He's my second favorite driver, but I feel like he shouldn't have gotten a penalty in my own rule book, the way I understand the rules. But then he should have gotten Russell should have gotten a penalty too for the exact same thing, just a little less severe. Yeah. I feel like I've explained the what I wanted to explain. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not happy with Lando win on his home soil, but I feel like it wasn't that celebrated, mainly because he was pretty much gifted to him. He wasn't the best driver at McLaren that weekend. Max was struggling. It was Red Bull from pole. Piastri overtook him. Piastri was leading the entire race. He was looking like the better driver. Well, pretty much ever since qualifying. Like he outqualified Lando, managed to race, and one very unfortunate coincidence ruined his ruined his lead in the championship. He's now down to 8 points, I believe, or 7. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the incident. A little long gap, but I feel like this one deserved it.
I'd like to go to another incident. Norris obviously wins. Very happy for him. We did mention that.
Yep.
Wins a British Grand Prix. And he's a British driver, and I know a lot of people don't like him. But he did carry off the rest of the race very well. Stayed within Piastri's train, within like 2 seconds of Piastri the whole time. And despite pitting second, still managed to come out ahead of him. Of course, Piastri had a 10-second penalty, but that's beyond any point. Still came out 5 seconds ahead of him, didn't make any mistakes. Piastri obviously makes the mistake going into, I can't remember the names of the turns now, and they're some of the most famous turns in. Piastri goes off, let's just say that. Chasing Norris, whether that's out of anger or so on. But yeah, it's a huge moment for him winning the British Grand Prix. But something I saw online was people were really angry at both Piastri and Norris for not celebrating enough with Hulkenberg. To start off with, they're their own team, obviously.
Yeah.
They should be allowed to celebrate how they want. Norris has just won his first ever British Grand Prix, his home nation. Of course, he's going to be a little self-centered. Piastri is very angry. And yes, Piastri doesn't really show it. Even with these incidents, right? I don't think we got pure anger from him. Imagine if that happened to imagine if Verstappen or Vettel or even a driver like Norris. Imagine if that happened to them. They would be fuming. They would be so angry that they'd be sort of even incapable of talking to press. And also third point, Norris did celebrate with Hulkenberg. They just didn't show it very well.
Yeah, he did
on the cameras. So I feel like there needs to be a bit of a drawback. I get that people don't seem to like these two. I understand that the McLaren dominance is a thing we're sort of getting used to, but at least we are having a title fight. So yeah, I think people should give them a bit more time and allow them to perform and act how they should be. I mean, Norris I know Hulkenberg doesn't know the precedent, but Norris kindly did the helmet thing, didn't bring attention to it for Hulkenberg, and also I don't think the Lego thing. I saw a bunch of people saying Piastri was rude for asking about the Lego thing. I thought it was a funny joke, to be honest, and Hulkenberg dealt with it well. So yeah, I thought I'd get that off my chest because it has been sitting with me the last few days after everything that happened.
I mean, I pretty much fully agree with everything you said. It was Lando's first home Grand Prix win. It's probably his most important win this season, like from his point of view, like winning on home soil, changing the momentum towards him. McLaren themselves, like, it's the British team. They have got a 1-2 on their home soil as a British team. So obviously they're gonna focus on themselves. Piastri, like you said, was full of emotions. I cooled down a little towards the end, but still, like, I feel like he had his head was too full of other thoughts for him to comprehend that yeah, a driver who's never seen the podium in his career was there for the first time. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like you said, like things happen, and I feel like if it was other drivers in less in different situations, like imagine it was like random Max P2. He's got like over 100 podiums in his career. He would mainly focus on Hulkenberg being there. He would like fully spray him out. Uh, but yeah, I could see this similar thing happening like with Lewis. If Lewis would have stood on the podium, probably would have enjoyed that moment a little more, uh, like for himself, and later on maybe for Hulkenberg, and like especially if he would win the race. Same thing for George. Like for the Brits to win in their home Grand Prix, like it's a big thing. I imagine what it could feel like to win a home Grand Prix. Like it would be one of the best feelings in Formula One that I can experience, probably. Next to like winning a championship and so on. It's a huge moment for Lando, and yeah, not gonna continue that much. Like we've said everything I feel like about that. Uh, okay, that was the race predictions, right? We've covered that,
yes.
so we can move.
Well,
on.
no, we need to extra ball predictions.
Yeah, extra roll predictions, so we can move on over to that. Behrman, not a P6, unfortunately. Sauber 14 plus points. Okay, I have a little hunch that it's actually true because podium certain P3 is 15 points. So technically, I have the first winner of the extra roll prediction. What a way to get this, right? Like, what? Like, at that point, like Bortoleto DNF, it would be like such a unpredictable thing for a Sauber podium to get this prediction. Like it would be the same like putting Hulkenberg podium there. Sauber 14 plus points. Like how did that even come into my mind at that point? I have no idea. But seemingly, yeah, I feel like yeah, that's 9 points.
It's 9 points, and congratulations. Honestly, I think
you.
it is well deserved because I looked at it right, and I was like, halfway in the race, I was like, Bortoletto's out, and as much as Hulkenberg's up there, I don't think he's going to get a podium, right? I think I thought Stroll might still push ahead, or that Hamilton would overtake. Even near the end, I was like, Hamilton will overtake. It wasn't until the dodgy pit stop that I was like, oh, okay, here's the podium coming in. So I think it's very well deserved. I'm very happy that you're the first person to get an extra ball prediction.
Such a circumstance as well. It's a fully positive weekend for me. Yeah, there were some bad negative talking points, but I mean the Ultra podium overshines everything. And the extra roll prediction is just the cherry on top, especially when it's because of the podium. Yeah, counting up the points, we're now tied on 33. How do you feel about that?
I'm very happy. I knew you'd catch up.
But the 6 point gap caught up in a singular race.
That's all right. That's all right.
You're homegrown free, technically.
I'll put it out again. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure this was probably a one-off, and the trend will continue. With
in LA, I'm going to have
more.
10 points ahead of you. That's what I'm saying.
LA, okay.
Not LA, Vegas. God damn it.
I mean, yeah, it's Las Vegas, right? I was like, yeah, well, LA makes sense, but I didn't even think about it. Not Los Angeles, but it's Las Vegas. Yeah, I guess so. We're not Americans, so we can afford a little mistake. Okay, I guess that covers the British Grand Prix, right? Unless we missed some talking points about the British Grand Prix. I'm not sure we did. Uh,
No, I think we've hit everything.
okay. Okay, we can move on to the final talking point, the big one, that happened well yesterday. Christian Horner is out of Red Bull after plus 20 plus years. Yeah, this is the kind of news that I was not expecting yesterday during the work. That I opened my phone to see that my timeline is full of Horner. But yeah, it hasn't been that long since that has been a thing, because we've obviously had the incident with the sexual harassment thingy. Like that was allegedly proven innocent for Christian, but yeah, I don't feel like that was
It was dodgy.
like to this day exactly. Like I didn't fully believe that. Uh, yeah, it's after all, it's rich people in the huge positions. They don't allow such a thing to ruin reputations and so on. They could have fired him, but probably at that point, Christian had the backing of a huge part of the team that was now gone, and thanks to that, they could get rid of him essentially. So yeah, I'm not sad that he's gone. Honestly, I wasn't much of a fan of Christian Horner, despite his success that was immense. I wasn't like I didn't really like him as a person, to be honest, and as for team principal, neither. Because yeah, I'm maybe even happy that he's gone. He's seemingly still affiliated with Red Bull. Apparently, it's gardening leave, so he's still gonna be there, employed for another year before he can switch teams. There's a rumor going around that he could switch to Ferrari. It would be very stupid of Ferrari to do that, but it's Ferrari after all. They've done stupid things in the past. I really hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see. I guess I could. You have more to say about it than I do, I believe. So you can go on.
He shouldn't have been sacked last year. I think it's huge, right? I'm sure he'll get another job in F1. I think it will be with Ferrari. And he shouldn't get that. But I think it's going to happen. Yeah, it's a huge moment for F1. He's been here for 20 years. Apart from Toto Wolff, every other team principal has been here for 2 years. It's very much very similar to, say, Alex Ferguson or Pep Guardiola in football, except he has these rumors and the investigation that's happened. I feel like I'm going to keep saying that because it's important to do so. It's it's difficult. It's rough to talk about all of this, but he has done extremely well in his job. Over the past 20 years, he has brought a midfield team into the powerhouse it is now. And yeah, I do think that it's probably around Verstappen in some form of way, whether Verstappen has formally moved and therefore he got triggered. Horner got triggered a part of his contract that said they could sack him, or they've decided to sack Horner to try and push forward on Verstappen's stay, which does feel dodgy. But I guess they are fourth in the Drivers' Championship, so they can probably blame it on that rather than the whole Verstappen thing, which you could get a lawsuit from. So yeah, it's big. It means the Verstappen thing's big. I think he'll be back in F1 soon enough. As I said, I think it will be probably with Ferrari or some other team, maybe maybe. I don't know. I don't know any other team I could think of right now.
Maybe
Um,
Alpine. If you think
hmm?
about it, Alpine with Briatore. Like that would be a scary
Maybe.
duo in terms of human rights in that team. Yeah. uh, okay. Anyways, that was something I know. I didn't see any sources, but there was a thing I saw that Christian and Briatore are in contact of essentially buying out Alpine or getting the team and essentially rebranding it to whatever it'll be. I don't know. Maybe it was just a random thing that I saw on Twitter. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to him being sacked, I feel like it's definitely tied to Max in one way or another. I personally have two theories that uh, either it's because they have lost Max to Mercedes and that's about to be exposed very soon because like such a big driver move is not gonna stay hidden for much longer, as we've seen with Lewis, the Ferrari, and the other scenario is that they have sacked him to keep Max in that team. So one way or
Yeah.
another, it's tied to Max, and I'm personally leaning towards the second option. I feel like Max is not going to leave now. Uh, I still am on the opinion that it's going to stay there for 26. See the regulations, see who's best, and try to get into the top seat after that. Because we will gamble to get to Mercedes and imagine they're like third quickest and another team is dominating, and now he's got a big contract with Mercedes, and like what is going to do with it, right? There's no guarantee Mercedes are going to be the quickest team next season. So I have no idea why I would be like, okay, I understand why you would go to Mercedes, just not next season. That's my opinion.
Fair enough. I have no idea. I still have no idea. We talked about it last week. I really still don't know. This has made me more unsure. I talked about it last week, so I'll say it again. Red Bull literally build the car around him and screw the second driver, as shown with Sonoda this weekend and every other weekend. And would Mercedes do that? Probably not. But at the same time, staying at uh, staying at Red Bull next season is going to be a risk. They don't have they're building their own engine. They're building their entire new chassis because of the regulations. It's going to be a risk. So, yeah. Um, I can't really add to that. I have no idea who's going to go where and what, and I'm scared and excited for the future.
Yeah, I think we've covered it pretty well. The entire talking point. It was another big bombshell news we've had in recent times. I feel like we're still just entering the still season. Not just for drivers but for staff. We've obviously seen the big moves last season, especially people going from Red Bull to their teams. Now it's Horner gone as well. That team is just losing so many people so quickly. It's almost unbelievable. Who is exactly like left in that team, which Max has won his titles with like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's pretty mental. It's pretty mental. Um,
Like
Probably his
yeah,
race engineer,
yeah,
and they
GP.
can they can go easily.
Yeah, I feel like GP is would be mandatory from Max's side to get another team. At least maybe I'm just overrating him in terms of his impact on Max's performance. But I feel like it's such a well embedded duo that they have such a long lasting chemistry together. They know how they feel like, they know what they say. They like I feel like there's no engineer in F1 right now who could handle Max at least the way that
Yeah.
GP does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I feel
agree.
like if Max would move to the Mercedes, I feel like his engineer would move with him essentially. At least that's my fear. But we can speculate all we want. We'll see if Max decides to leave Red Bull or not. And yeah, that's it. I think. Do you have anything else to say?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have lost you for a second.
Hello?
Yeah, you're back. Okay.
No, I don't have anything more to say.
Okay, good. So I guess we can then wrap it up. Your turn for the outro.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We'll be back next week with our mid-driver season ratings, so on.
Mid-driver ratings.
Thank you. And yes, thank you for watching. And as always, peace.
Peace.